Hello everyone, this is Nathan Hyatt, creator of Conscience and Nonsense magazine, Adventures in Sane Comic Strip, coming to you for another podcast. Podcasts are piling up even though we don't do them every week. Last podcast we were talking about politics and the disabled community and how we are treated and how we are mistreated, treated unfairly, and how that dovetails with politics, and how that there are a lot of people who would just like for us to go away entirely. And I was very passionate, and I was passionate without apology. And I don't want to take back what I said. I did think about what I was putting on the air, so to speak, on the podcast. I don't ever want to lose touch with my stability or make anyone else feel like I'm encouraging them to do anything irresponsible or act out in an unstable manner. So you might be like, well, what's this guy talking about? What's Nathan even talking about? Well, there's a Supreme Court case right now going on because YouTube got sued because someone died in a terrorist attack, and the family of the victim sued YouTube and said, hey, you should have done more to shut down hate speech on your platform, and your algorithm actually pushed hate speech out there. And this is going on YouTube, this podcast. That's where this podcast lives, so we'll see if I get in trouble that way. But John Lewis, he said get in good trouble, so I'm going to get in good trouble here. I am all for free speech. I like being able to get on the internet and find the kind of speech that I want to hear and the kind of speech that I don't want to hear from all different corners of the internet globe, if that makes any sense. So, why is free speech so important to me? Well, free speech is important to me because people are important to me. A little while ago, actually just the other day, I got into a conversation with my IT person who works with me on Conscience and Nonsense.com and Cons and Nons Mag, the magazine. And we both live in Florida, and we have very diverging opinions of the governor down here, Ron DeSantis. And, I might make a little fun of him and call him Ron DeSadness. But basically what it comes down to is I'm saying, look, this person is banning books, and we don't do that in the United States of America. And the other side of that coin is, hey, these books are horribly, badly wrong, and they don't even belong in an adult bookstore, much less the classroom. So let's take them out of the classroom. So I can see both sides of this argument, and I'm not here to have the argument right now. What I'm here to say is that for me, Conscience and Nonsense magazine, do I really need to shout it from the rooftops? I do not want to try to change the world. I do not want to take it upon my own shoulders to fix the whole wide world, and then, after I die, I go to the pearly gates, and God is St. Peter's there and says, hey, welcome to heaven, you changed the whole world, now it's a good place to live. Here's your eternal reward for fixing what was wrong with all those stupid, broken, crazy people down there that did everything wrong. You helped them see the light, and you fixed their problem. I live in a little bit more of a reality than that. I understand that there's a lot of no-win situations, there are a lot of dilemmas, there are a lot of areas of gray instead of black and white, And a lot of people don't know right from wrong, but then again, a lot of people are right fighters, and they don't see the harm that they do when they fight for their side, claiming and believing the whole time that they're right just because they're right. And if only we would see things their way, we would all do the right thing, and there wouldn't be any more problems, and we could make all the bad people go away. So my desire and my hope for conscienceandnonsense.com is that this can become a home for people who just want to be heard, for people who feel like they're shouting into the void about whatever it is. So many people feel that way. People on both sides of the abortion debate, people on both sides of the gun control issue, people on both sides of the free speech issue, people talking about global warming, animal rights activists, vegans. So many of us, we have the thing that captures our attention in life and says to us, do this, care about this. For many of us, it's stopping hate, stopping violence. That's a big one for me. And we just feel like we could stand there with a megaphone shouting into the Grand Canyon, and our message would be echoed back to us by the acoustics of the empty rocky terrain, and no one would ever really hear us. So it's important to me to make conscienceandnonsense.com, Conscience and Nonsense magazine, however big it does or doesn't get, however many people do or don't visit, how long it sticks around and continues to be a thing. I want people to feel like someone hears them, someone's listening. I want the person who says, "Don't take my guns away," to feel heard. I want the pro-choice people and the pro-life people to feel heard. I want people from all different religions and atheists and people with no religion at all and people who have hopped from religion to religion to religion and philosophy to philosophy to philosophy and gone back and forth from one political party to the other and then declared themselves independents and been really indecisive at the end of the day. I want those people to feel heard. Everybody has a podcast right now because we all want to feel heard. Even if we're just listening to ourselves talk. And so many of us are. But I really do enjoy doing interviews and publishing other people's work and publishing stories about what's going on in the lives of other people, because I hit that button to publish something and I like to feel like somebody's going to see this and get a phone number, maybe not a phone number, but get an email address, get a website address. They're going to visit. They're going to look into how they can make a difference. Whether it's for homelessness or suicide prevention, veterans affairs and rights, any number of things. America really is a great country when it wants to be, in certain places, under certain circumstances. I believe in all the people in this country. I believe we can all make a difference and do the right thing and contribute something beautiful. I believe that we are all capable of stopping harm. I believe in people. Maybe I'm like Pollyanna or Anne Frank, I don't know. I'm not like Anne Frank. I don't have her courage. So much of the time I'm just a coward. But at the end of the day, what I really want to say is I'm going to keep shouting into the void of the Grand Canyon through my megaphone and my microphone And I'm going to take breaks. And in those breaks, I'm going to listen. And I'm going to listen to hear if I hear anything more than just the echo of my own message. And I'm going to look. I'm going to look down there into the canyon, into the void. And I'm going to watch and see. And I'm going to see one day I'm going to wake up and open my eyes and I'm going to say, hey, there's a person down there. And they're listening. They're listening to what I have to say. Hey, there's two people down there. They're talking to each other. They're listening to each other. And they don't agree on everything, but right now I feel so small. I feel like I'm in the tiniest little, smallest, most infinitesimal corner of the universe with this little dust speck on a dust speck. One man on a planet which is undetectable throughout most of the universe just because it's so tiny. But the world around me is all the universe I know, and I want to make it better. I want to make it a better place. So I don't know, I don't know what the real deal is, the way to say it. Conscience and Nonsense magazine mission statement: to give aid and comfort to the advocacy community. Well, who's in the advocacy community? Anyone who really believes in what they're doing and saying, even if I disagree with them, because it's not about me. It's about them. What are they advocating for? What do they believe? What do they want? What's their truth? What's their own personal truth? What is your personal truth? If you've listened to this much of this podcast and you've gotten this far and you're interested in this whole thing, what is your personal truth? What do you believe? What do you want to convince people of? Where are you coming from when you talk to people? What do you wish people would understand? I want to help you help people understand you better. I want to help you communicate. Visit conscienceandnonsense.com, Conscience and Nonsense Magazine, consandnonsmag.com, and email me, consandnons@gmail.com. And I'm working on becoming more, I don't want to say aggressive, but more active in making something happen, growing this thing, reaching out and asking people for help. And that's the hardest thing for me to do, is ask people for help and say, hey, I've just got this little magazine here. I remember his first name was Peter, I think. He was on that show Whale Wars, and he was an activist with Greenpeace, and then he started his own organization to stop Japanese whalers down in the Southern Ocean north of Antarctica to save the whales. And I remember him being on that show, being on the phone saying, I'm down here in the Southern Ocean, I need help. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't think this is a nonprofit. This is still an LLC. I want to pay my taxes. I'm not a charity case. I don't think that any media outlet should be a nonprofit unless they really feel like that's the direction they need to go. But I want to preserve my free speech rights. I don't want anybody shutting me down saying, well, you're a nonprofit, you can't talk about politics. You're a nonprofit, you can't mention political candidates. You can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. There's all these rules. The IRS is so involved in that too, using money as a weapon, using the tax code as a weapon against us to take away our civil rights. So, running a little bit long here. Don't want to go beyond the pale. Don't want to bore you.